about some of your other promises on this topic. You've promised to end birthright citizenship on day one. Is that still your plan?
Yeah, absolutely.
The 14th Amendment, though, says that, quote, all persons born in the United States are citizens. Can you get around the 14th Amendment with an executive action?
We're going to have to get a change. We'll maybe have to go back to the people, but we have to end it. We're the only country that has it.
Through an executive action?
You know, we're the only country that has it.
Hi, everybody. I needed to talk to you tonight after hearing our new president-elect's comments to Kristen Welker during Meet the Press. He's wrong, and I have the receipts to prove it. So let's get to the first point where he says that we're the only country, and he reinforces that to Kristen by saying it a second time, we're the only country that has birthright laws. Well, there's 39 countries on this planet that have one form or another of birthright laws. Of the G7 nations, 5 of them have birthright citizenship laws. The United States, France, Germany, Greece, Ireland, they all have birthright laws. Not all of them are exactly like ours. Some of them have slight variations in it. Only Canada and Japan from the G7 do not have that. Okay. Now, if you stop and think that the G7 actually encompasses the wealthiest nations in the world, the ones that have a viable economy, and you look at what's going on with them, the G7 countries make up only 10% of the world population, but yet they generate 45% of the world's GDP. I wonder how immigration laws affect that. I would think that if they're allowing immigrants in, they're doing the jobs like most of us already know. They're doing the jobs that we don't really need or want to do. They're doing the farm agricultural work. They're doing the planting, the growing, the harvesting. They're doing the hotel work. They're doing the room cleanings. They're doing food service. They're doing waiting on customers as they approach different areas inside the hotels. We've all been there. We've all asked these people for their assistance, and we've all, I'd like to say we all, I hope we've all left a rather sizable tip for them at the end of the game because we know that they're doing the dirty work that we didn't want to do, especially when we were away on vacation. Now, I want to get to Trump's other point. He said he wants to override the 14th Amendment. You can't actually do that. You can't just override it. You can't take it back to the people like he said. But, well, maybe in a very minor way, but it's not something that's going to happen. It's not going to go back to a vote to the people. So in all of history, in our constitutional amendments, only one amendment has ever been rescinded. Okay? That was the 18th Amendment, which was rescinded and overrun by the 21st Amendment. And that was a Republican-led issue, by the way, regarding prohibition. The process for repealing or changing an American amendment to the U.S. Constitution is outlined under Article 5 of the Constitution. And I'm going to read this one to you so I get it right. And basically it requires at least 2/3 of both houses of Congress to agree on the changes, which must then be ratified or approved by no less than 3/4 of the states. Think about that for a second. In this day and age, we're barely lucky that we can even agree on a 50-50 argument or even get a bill passed for a continuing resolution, which is going on tonight. We're now on our 3rd iteration, and it's my understanding that our president-elect has now offered up to the GOP, which is in total chaos, that he wants them to go ahead and try and get the continuing resolution across, but he wants it done by not allowing the Democrats' needs that they've asked for, and he wants them to remove the debt ceiling. Now, a lot of people believe that might be a better thing, and there are other countries that don't have a debt ceiling. Some have a very high debt ceiling, and that would eliminate what the situation we're in right now with the continuing resolution, which is kicking the can down the street and then walking down to get it and kicking it again. You're not passing a full balanced budget, okay? There's pros and cons to that, and we can get into that in a later podcast. But right now, state ratifications of a constitutional amendment only work through two methods, and Congress gets to choose which one they want. They can either go to the state legislature, which would require 3/4 of the state legislatures to ratify the amendment, or they can call for a state convention, which would then require 3/4 of the states to have a convention to ratify the amendment. Again, I think I'm going to go back to, I don't think that's going to happen in this day and age. Congress gets to decide which way it goes. Congress also gets to call for the convention and propose the amendment if 2/3 of the legislature require it. Now, I keep going back to the two houses can't even agree anymore. The GOP and the Democrats have very little to agree on, okay? And it's a time-consuming effort. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen next year. Just as an example, the ERA amendment failed to pass the required majority of the state legislature in the 1980s, and it had been around for 80 years at that point, okay? Maybe my math is right. Been around 60 years at that point. In today's time, they're around 100 years. Well, there's a bit of information coming out of the White House that I'm going to share with you that I just found out about, that President Joe Biden has read the ERA and read the rules and regulations, and with Virginia approving the ERA amendment, they now have a full 2/3 majority, but nobody has ever submitted it for ratification with the government. That would require that the president go to the Library of Congress and talk with the people there that record the amendments. The paperwork's already done. The votes are already there. It's been sitting. No one's been paying attention to it. And I got a feeling that we're going to see President Biden approve that document to become the 28th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. That would be something really cool. What do you think? I'm just asking for a friend, you know? That's what I tell everybody. Well, I'd like to thank you for listening to this podcast. If you really liked what you heard and you saw, and you have more interest in it, please hit the like and subscribe buttons and let me know. If you have anything that you want to talk to me about, if you want to disagree with me on anything, again, this is political discourse. I'm open to a conversation. I'm open to growing my podcast. I'm open to having other people come on and talk with me. We're alone tonight. It's just me presenting to you because right now I have a couple of people lined up. That's going to be for the future. Those dates are scheduled, but they're not happening right now. So if you want to get into that list and you want to join that, I'd be happy to have you come in. Thank you, and I hope you come back again. I hope I see you again. Good night.